world as we know it does not exist without struggle. Our civilization is under constant assault from forces we would once have called the powers of hell. In truth, these forces are far more ancient than Christianity. More ancient than any religion that has left its trace upon our species' soul. It is evil incarnate, and it has been working to destroy our highest aspirations, our faith in love and light, since we came into being. But we do not dare name this evil. To do so would be to admit to its presence in our world. To acknowledge that its servants walk the same streets that we walk, and its overlords, depraved, corrupt, and hungry for our flesh and our destruction, are hidden in the empty wastes of our planet, awaiting the day of mankind's execution. Only one power stands between us and universal death. Warrior magicians, who have dedicated their lives to our protection. Most of us will never know their names, nor the battlefields where they wage their secret wars, nor will we ever honor their dead. But they are with us, always, armed, vigilant, and ready to die for another tomorrow. Jericho. They are called Jericho. They know all too well what the enemy is capable of. That before our species perishes, we will be tortured into madness, devoured alive. And they will do all in their power to protect us from such atrocities. If the world exists tomorrow, now you know why. Jericho.
An ancient city emerged from the sands of time, bringing with it the seed of all evil.
Rawlings, Church, Cole, secure the entrance. The rest of you with me.
Still picking up the signal from the Swiss Guard recon squad?
Yeah, but I can't get a lock. I'm getting close, but there's lots of interference.
That's never a good sign.
Hold up.
What in God's name?
The Swiss team. Or what's left of them.
Hey, there's something here.
Holy shit!
Alright, so coming off of Metro 2033, this is another game that I had on the back burner for actually quite a long time now, but this is Clive Barker's Jericho. For those that don't know, Clive Barker is a pretty prolific writer and director. Hellraiser, if anybody has ever heard of it or knows about it. It's probably one of his more popular works with Pinhead. So, yeah, this is a video game that was done in production with him. But we do have some story bits on the loading screen, and they do go really slow, so I'll probably just end up speeding these up and reading them from that point on. But yeah, this game came out around 2007, and I never really had a chance to go and play it, or other things would always just distract me. But I finally decided, hey, I'll go ahead and give it a shot. This game is considered abandonware at this point. You used to be able to get it on Steam, but now you no longer can, so unless you have a physical copy, you literally cannot play it. At least you can't download an easy-to-get non-physical version anymore due to licensing issues. So, let's go ahead and read what we have here so far. And God created the firstborn in his own image, an entity neither male nor female, dark nor light, a singular being that was both beautiful and terrible to behold. Disturbed by the power of his creation, God left it unfinished, banished the firstborn from reality to the abyss, forsaken and unloved. In its place, God started fresh. The slate wiped clean, he divided his next creation into two sexes, gave it intellect, reason, and emotion. He gave it the gift of love. He gave it a soul, biblical apocrypha, Gnostic texts. So, I haven't really played this game, but I do know a bit about the characters in it, in particular. So, and yes, we will be playing as Steve Bloom in this one. He's not a side character, we are actually Steve Bloom. This man will forever follow me in everything that I play. But overall, the characters in this are very interesting folks. They're considered, as he puts it very shortly here, witches with guns.
Oh, shit.
The Jericho unit is essentially a super secret military unit that does not exist by all stretches of the imagination.
We are the top secret combat arm of the U.S. Army Chaplains Corps. As far as the government is concerned, we don't exist. Each of us is a specialist in one of the arcane arts. The Army calls what we do covert occult warfare. It's just a fancy euphemism for witches with guns. There was a time when the church would have burned people like us as heretics and monsters. Now, we fight their wars for them.
So yeah, as Steve just exposition dumped, we are basically heretical black magic users, which is very strange, honestly. The unit was apparently founded during World War II as a countermeasure to the Nazi occult operations unit. So we're basically the countermeasure to Nazi occultism. So, very interesting.
Arnold Leach.
Our old friend. This was taken back in '62, before we had any idea what he was capable of.
Ritual murders in Baltimore, gas attacks in Sydney, and those poor kids in London.
You got it. Anyway, Leach and his so-called Brotherhood of the Dark Rapture have been trying to gain access to Al-Khalid for nearly 20
But,
years.
story so far, we're hunting down Arnold Leach.
Where'd you get
This game is supposed to be very dark, very horror-esque, which is very Clive Barker. Most of his stories are darker, more gritty, very spiritual, as many as I've seen anyways, or heard. So, it will have that signature Clive Barker kind of spin on things. And we have our whole squad here, full of interesting characters. Which, actually, I do really enjoy the characters. That is one of the strong points of this game. So we have Delgado, Cole, Rawlings, Church, Jones, and Abby. So. And Cole is our nerdy tech girl, Delgado is our big enforcer guy, Rawlings is the ever classic chaplain. We have the sniper, the girl with the machine pistol and blade, and Jones. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Jones is kind of the weird, odd one out in all of this, I feel. Well, Jones and Ross, both of them seem kind of normal, as far as things go.
Alpha, Omega, form 2 fire teams and follow me. Go, give me a waypoint 100 meters from the edge of the storm and scan for any weak points. The rest of you, stay frosty.
But yeah, this game starts off hard and heavy with the ambiance. We're basically next to a gigantic sandstorm. Like, this game does have a hell of a intro part. That's about the most that I've played, though, is just getting the intro, essentially, to just kind of test out settings and all of that. So after that, it's basically a blind playthrough for me. But the characters are all very colorful, different kinds of bits to them. Very interesting kind of folks. At least most that I've seen. Now, one thing of note that I would like to mention, though, there was a mod for this game, the S mod, that I could have played with, but I didn't want to do that because I kind of wanted to do vanilla, just to try it out. But it is available and apparently tunes a bunch of the balance stuff and also makes like your flashlight HD and gives you general all-purpose tweaking abilities. But at the same time, I didn't want to do that. But I did activate a particular thing that will make it where I can't fail QuickTime events just because I really don't care for QuickTime events. So if that bothers you, well, just know that I'm not doing the QuickTime events. They literally can't fail. Maybe a hot take, but I actually just don't care for QuickTime events. I like to enjoy the story of a game and not have to worry in every cutscene that I'm going to die over and over again because of a QuickTime event. So I want to enjoy this game and actually absorb it. So again, just know I'm not doing the QuickTime events during the game. It's basically just can't fail. So here we have the ruins of Al-Khali, Middle East. The Department of Occult Warfare has sent in Jericho Team, a 7-man unit trained in both conventional and occult warfare, to investigate. All attempts at contacting the outpost inside Al-Khali have failed. With tensions already running high in the region, this is the event that could trigger the apocalypse. I don't particularly like that they put the exposition into slow loading screens so far. That's kind of bad. It wouldn't be so bad if it would just like, I don't know, you hit a button and it completed it, but it's like this slow typewriter-like effect. So, they could have sped that up a bit. But that's just a tiny nitpick. I do like that they actually give story in the cutscenes. But here we actually have a QuickTime event. Again, I can't fail them, so yeah. If that bothers anyone in any particular way, just know, yeah, there are cheats in this game, and I am using a singular one to survive QuickTime events. Everything else is vanilla. I don't want to lie and say that I'm just automatically passing the QuickTime events or anything like that. Just know they are auto-completing themselves. But so far, this game, it does have a cool setting. I do like the characters, like Rawlings, Abby, Delgado. All the team members are very interesting. Like, they're just a weird mishmash of people. But they do have, like, interesting stories to them.
sit rep and see what's happening.
Still not entirely particular about Jones, though. He seems... Jones and Ross, the guy I'm playing as, Ross, and Jones, both of them seem
Take cover.
very vanilla compared to the rest of the group.
Easy, guys. They could be friendly.
Like, we have a huge, basically hand cannon wielding revolver priest, Delgado with the giant minigun and armor. We have a telekinetic sniper that can control her bullets, essentially, and push shit with her mind. The hacker girl Cole that can basically slow time. Like, there's just so many weird things that, I don't know, the rest of them seem kind of, like, Ross and Jones seem kind of vanilla.
Threat eliminated.
That's not a bad thing, but at the same time, whenever you have such other colorful characters that have, like, really interesting designs, like, you know, it's kind of weird.
Cole, how you doing on that sit rep?
Like, almost ran out of ink in the printer sort of feeling. Like,
It's just temporal.
Mr. Barker was, I don't know,
Stick to the plan.
just wasn't feeling it whenever it came to particular characters.
Do not engage without backup.
Like, we have a Blood Witch, we have a telekinetic sniper, we have the crazy medic chaplain. I don't know. It's
So what is the
very odd that he would choose such a plain Jane kind of assortment
Data from the attack.
with Jones and Ross.
It's clear he's in over his head.
But maybe I'm just thinking too deeply into it. I haven't played the game entirely, so I can't really judge it off of
the facility? She can
10 minutes of gameplay so far. I do like the cultist designs, though.
Jesus.
They kind of remind me of, like, Flesh Pounds, if anybody's played Killing Floor. I actually think that this game came out right around the time Killing Floor did anyways, so... I don't know which came first, particularly. I think it was the first Killing Floor, but... They remind me of Flesh Pounds. Like giant meat mallets on their hands. A little less angry, though. So far, the gunplay isn't too bad.
spread the gospel with a full clip.
How long since you were here?
I do find it weird that they combined the shotgun. It's almost like a...
Russ?
forget the name of the attachment for a shotgun on the front of things, but... It's almost like one of those with your rifle, but at the same time, it's really weird that you reload it with a clip. Like, I don't really know what to think of it so far.
Jesus Christ on a crutch.
I can't say I'm particularly, like, liking that I have to reload twice just to reload, essentially. It feels odd. Like, I don't really know what to think of that. I get that it's the same effect as reloading another gun, but it feels weird to do. Like, I keep the same gun out, but I reload it twice. It's just odd that I can't hit the reload button and he reloads both of them regardless. I don't know. It feels really bizarre. Maybe it's just me being so used to single clips or other things such as that,
A blood sigil.
but it almost feels like it takes too long to reload in between fights.
They'd have rites and incantations in place to lock the facility down.
Can you unbind it?
Sure can. This is one of ours. You might want to step back a bit.
I feel like the females of the group got, like, the best of the designs. I do really like Rawlings, though.
Know how long before it closes again. You don't want to be
He kind of reminds me of, like, a Constantine sort of approach
Back. That door doesn't open from
to a religious guy.
You got it, sir.
Like, I know Constantine wasn't really carrying around hand cannons or something, but same attitude kind of approach to it. and we just want this to complete writing, I'll probably be speeding these up just so I can read it after it's done typing. The lost city of Alkali is caught within a box of extremely virulent evil. Today there were a handful of ruins beneath the desert sands, but this place has been in existence throughout some of the most significant civilizations in history, many of which were oblivious to the tremendous power that lay under their very feet.
What are we looking for?
There's a huge array of
So again, I do like the exposition dumps and the loading screens. They're kind of nice.
that the dimensional rift is weakening.
But at the same time, I wish they were a little faster with it. It's not bad by any means, like waiting around a bit. And I assume back in 07 that it would have taken a little bit longer to load, considering I have this on an SSD now. But the typing is so slow. I feel like even back then it would have been ridiculously slow. Like you would have been waiting even back then on the typing to finish before you hit the continue key. But I don't want to just abandon the story exposition and the loading screens, because I feel like it can give us nice little bits and pieces. So it kind of, it's a double edge.
Paul Rawlings. We met in '96. I was your handler in Chechnya, then Sudan.
What about Prague?
Prague, 1999. New Year's Eve at the Hotel Bohemia. We danced a Cole Porter tune sung in Czech, then drank ourselves stupid on absinthe. I'm afraid my memory gets a bit fuzzy after that.
So Rawlings has a party animal side. Nice to know. Which is kind of weird for a chaplain.
Are you hurt?
Something terrible's happened. They've already opened the breach. It's already out.
What's out? What's she talking about?
Operation God Seal. That's why they sent you, isn't it? You've got to stop it, Paul. If you don't, we've lost everything. Everyone in the world is lost.
Did you manage to record the event itself? If we can pinpoint the source of the temporal distortion, we can find the breach.
Ross, can you read me? I'm here.
So it's kind of weird, also, I just noticed, but Ross and Rawlings are like the,
We keep firing, but they just keep coming.
I want to say medics. They don't really do usual medic affairs, but
I'm not asking.
both of them are like the medics of the group, but they put them together in a group. It's kind of strange that they would do that. I mean, every team needs a good medic, right?
I thought you were
So.
a priest.
I am
It is a little odd that they would put Rawlings and Ross together.
also human.
Also, the way that he says human there, he just sounds so disgusted with himself. Outpost Vigil. Established to investigate the unusual activities of the Box during the Second World War, the Allies knew that the Germans, led by the Thule Society, were carrying out extensive excavation work on some mysterious ruins without any apparent reason. So this place has a lot of history tied to it so far, as well as apparently there's like power and bunkers and stuff. So it's not just some devoid place, like there's no life or anything here. I will say the shotgun feels pretty satisfying in this, but the rifle itself is kind of lackluster. Yeah, the shotgun has a nice sound to it, nice meaty kind of hit, but at the same time, its a rifle counterpart, not so much. Can't say I care for that one. Which is a pity because I don't think we're ever going to get any other weapons outside of the rifle. we've got the Suicider enemies. Not surprising. Every game seems to have a thing that likes to blow itself up in it. Honestly, they're not that hard to deal with. The little pustules on the Suicider guys could be a little brighter, though.
Extreme data recovery. You up to it?
Still not too bad.
Distortion experienced at the site in relation to the event horizon of the breach itself. If the vortex is strong enough to cause a feedback loop, then theoretically, if the data existed, then it's always existed, sir.
I have no idea what you just said.
I think I can recover the data.
Yeah, that would have probably been the simpler thing to say in the immediate response.
That's enough, thanks.
So far, I don't know about the whole commanding the team thing, but we haven't really done much in regards to that so far. So there will be more to explore later. It seems like the pustule guys take a lot of hits if you don't hit the actual pus parts. Meanwhile, I'm putting more bullets in the back of my teammates' heads than actually in the enemies.
Let 'em hang, guys.
I do like the unique abilities that everyone seems to have, though. Like the Fire Serpent for Delgado, the Blood Magic for
At least not all of it is.
Church, I think is her name? Billy? And the whole, holding people in place, all of that sort of stuff. Everyone's got some interesting stuff to add to the group. And here we can actually see Ross's ability to resurrect his team. Which I suppose is why they made him leader. I guess he's just the only one that can really pick people up. Actually, in the mod that I'd seen, that was actually one of the things that they had that changed the most, was the ability to rebalance damage to your team, because apparently that is a big part of this. Because your team goes down a ton, apparently. So I did kind of want to experience the vanilla. And I guess I'm really experiencing the vanilla. Because there are a lot of people going down. The team does not have self-preservation in mind. Which I'm not surprised. In 07, yeah. Seems to be very par of the course for having AI in games where they just literally aren't that smart.
Shit! Everyone stack up. Jones, you feeling anything?
Yes, sir.
Arnold Leach knows all too well what tactics the Jericho team will use to track him down. Carefully, he chooses someone to infiltrate DOW from the inside to feed him information he needs to be one step ahead of the Jericho team. He knows that they'll use data gathered by Muriel Green to track him down, and he can't let that happen. So Arnold Leach apparently is like the general of DOW, which is where we're from, so he probably knows quite a bit, which isn't good for us. And it's going to be a rough time for our teammates actually shooting these guys. And there's Rawlings, like, long-range healing. So, Rawlings, Ross both have a range on their... or not a range, but Rawlings and Ross both have healing abilities for their powers. Which is nice. I mean, in a squad of, what, 7? It comes in handy to have medics. And this game can get really dark sometimes. Not like emotionally or, you know, story-wise, but just like really dark in general. As well as in story. I mean, it gets pretty dark.
I sent her here. I thought we could get space. I was afraid someone might find out.
This is likely to cause a considerable amount of dimensional displacement, sir. You may want to step out.
That's kind of interesting. It seems like Rawlings had sort of a fling with her, but at the same time, it's like he probably shouldn't. He makes it sound like he was doing something he shouldn't be. Which I'm sure is true whenever you're part of a super secret unit of soldiers and stuff. Delgado's got shit on lock with that dragon of his. It's just like a horde wave coming. The AI seems kind of good at the same time as terrible with actually hitting things. So I guess they're about like me. This is quite an assortment of enemies we've got going at us. I need to actually find out if I can choose which gun I can reload. Because it seems to prioritize the shotgun, but at the same time I'm using the rifle more. So I don't really know what exactly it's doing. But sometimes you need one weapon more than the other and just want to reload it. But it doesn't seem to really choose one. That would make sense. I don't know. It's just another reason why I think it's kind of weird that they didn't just give you another weapon instead of putting both on the same.
Man, I hate when she does that. Cole, what have you got for me?
Alkali sits atop a 7-point intersection of ley lines. Leech has pinpointed this intersection and made a substantial blood sacrifice to open the dimensional rift.
Yes, but to open a portal of that size, he'd have to kill thousands. The Brotherhood only number a couple of hundred at best.
Doesn't matter. Leech is a tantrist. Casters like Leech, they build up a charge.
A karma bomb.
That's right. All that shit those dark rapture dickheads have been pulling, killing babies, blowing up schools. They've been saving up that negative karma for this moment. How the hell
Kind of weird.
something like that?
You almost sound impressed.
They have like a different type of units.
You're sick. Sir, I've pinpointed the exact location of the breach. I've also
Said that Leech is a tantrist?
You know the drill, guys.
I'm not entirely sure what that means. But it's probably something to do with how he can just store up power. But at the same time, no idea.